Okay, over the last week, we did general journal and how we use technology to make our businesses efficient and what are the new methods of technology that are being used in businesses. Okay, before that, we learned about purchases journal and sales journal. So, as we learn now, there are some transactions that we cannot record in specialized journals such as purchase journal and sales journal. Then, because of that, what we do is we record them in a separate journal called general journal. Okay. So there may be some other transactions other than the transactions recorded in sales journal and purchase journal, and they are recorded in general journal. So, for example, purchase of a machine on credit basis to used in business activities, purchase of a land on credit basis to expand the business activities, owner using the goods of the businesses for his own purposes. Now, last week also we studied. Now here it says purchases of machine on credit basis to be used in the businesses. That goes in the general journal. But somehow, let's say if this transaction was something like purchase of machine on credit basis for resale, then we have to record it under purchases journal. Okay. Uh, so purchases journal is a separate prime entry book, and and the source document for uh, general journal is journal voucher, and this is the structure or the format of a general journal. Now, I earlier also I told, now it's important that we remember all these the format of the journals: purchase journal, sales journal, general journal. When we speak about it, you need to memorize what is the format to draw this account, or the what is the format to draw this the general or the other journal. So what ideally what you should do is you should take a piece of paper and then write, I mean, draw these journals. General journal එක කොහොමද අඳින්නේ, purchase journal එක කොහොමද අඳින්නේ, sales journal එක කොහොමද අඳින්නේ. Likewise, keep a record of it and keep it somewhere you can see, so you can refresh your memory. Okay. And the next thing is, for every transaction we record in general journal, what we have to do is we have to write a brief description or brief narration about that transaction. For example, let's say now there has been a purchase of equipment on credit basis for the business for 10,000 for Silva and Company, and this transaction has happened on 2nd February. Okay, so then what happens? Purchase of an equipment on credit for the business. Okay, when you buy a equipment, it's asset, your asset balance is going down, so because of that you are debiting the account. And on the other hand, you're buying it from Silva Company, okay, and you're buying it on credit, then it's a liability. So as liability balance is going up, you have to pass a credit entry. And the next important thing is you are writing the transaction here, recording of equipment bought from Silva and Company Limited on credit at a cost of 10,000. So you are writing a small narration. Okay. Then we wrote the note. Okay, we completed the note on general journal, and then we went on to the next section: instance cash transactions through the electronic methods of technology. So we looked at how the technology is being used in today's world to improve and do transactions instantly, and we watched some videos also from this. Okay. The methods of conducting business activities have changed with the development of technology. Now, business activities are conducted by our technological methods. These transactions conducted using technology should also be recorded in the prime entry books and posted into ledger accounts. The important thing is, despite the fact that you are using technology to improve your transactions, to improve the speed of your transaction, what happens is you have to record them in your prime entry book. Recording of that information in prime entry books and respective ledger accounts is still compulsory. Okay. Following are some instances where transactions are conducted using technology. So these are the instances where you use technology to do sort of like do transactions. Okay, computerize accounting over the manual accounting. Okay, using of telephones, text messages, emails without using letters as we used so many years back. Okay, now so many years back, people used to go to banks or electricity board or water board and pay the bill, but today they're paying it over the internet. And things like usage of debit cards, credit cards over currency notes. Okay, earlier people used currency notes, but now they can simply swipe their card and make the payments. Okay, then to obtain the account details, they don't have to go to their banks now. They can just take it from the internet. Okay, then conducting sales through electronic equipment such as POS machines. Now, earlier, අපි ගිහලා මුදලාලිට සල්ලි දීලා තමයි බඩු ටික ගන්න. But now, if you look at how things happen, you have different electronic machines that can accept your payments. Your card payments or can be accepted by point of sales machines, POS machines. Okay. Then the transactions conducted through mobile phones. Okay. Uh, so mobile phones, if you look at the world today, they changed the business world so much. Okay. Now, in the year of 2012, mobile-based settlement system was firstly introduced to Sri Lanka by a private telecommunication service provider. Okay, that was back in 2012. That was firstly these electronic payments were done by mobile phones, and now it has grown into a different context. Okay, you have different apps like Genie, and you can QR scan and make payments likewise. Okay, ability to communicate information quickly with any party related to the business, ease of conducting banking activities via mobile phones, and ability to obtain required information to take business decisions by browsing internet and all. So those are some of the like sort of like advantages of doing these transactions through mobile phones. Okay, now what can we accomplish from this mobile banking and e-banking? Okay, we can check the bank account balance, obtain bank statement, make the payment, transfer funds, okay, placing orders for checkbooks. Now today some things have even gone further. Okay, you can even open your accounts. Okay, you can open a fixed deposit account, you can open a savings account sometimes over the online. Now if you look at now overseas countries, they have their mobile apps where you everything is happening through the mobile phone. Your user verification, your personal verification, opening of account, everything that is happening through mobile phones. Okay, so what are the advantages of telebanking? So as we discussed earlier also, with the telebanking, you can easily do the transactions, okay? And you can quickly do the transaction. It saves the time and the effort. Okay, those are few things. And then we learned about the computer-aided accounting, CAD. Okay, so now we learned earlier what people used to do was they used to record all these information in manual journals. Now let's say now a business like Keels, they have so many shops. They have supermarkets across Sri Lanka. Now, if they are going to do their transactions over a manual process, okay, if they record everything manually, then how long will it take? It will take so much of time, and it is very difficult to sort of like streamline and monitor, record these transactions. Okay, then because of that, what happens is we get the computer-aided accounting or CAD. Okay, there what you do is you are inputting your like raw transactions into accounting software and they are processing these accounts. What happens is day-to-day transactions they are entered into a computer system. For example, very simply, when you go to a let's say Keel's shop, and when you buy a bread, that transaction is being recorded. Okay, then it's sort of like channeled through the accounting systems, computer-aided accounting systems, and then it goes on to preparation of final accounts of the organization. Okay, so they record, store, interpret, and communicate data to the stakeholders. Okay, and at the end of the accounting period, financial statements are prepared automatically. Okay, so these are few of the examples. For example, like QuickBook, MyOB, those are the accounting packages that we use in the computer aided accounting. Okay, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of computerized accounting? Okay, now firstly, looking at the advantages. You can save a lot of time. Okay, you can save money because you don't need labor anymore. Okay, and there is a high level of accuracy in accounting reports. Okay, because no one can manipulate it, and you can obtain all the data very easily and quickly. දැන් මම කලිනුත් කිව්වා මොනවා හරි අපි හිතන්න අපි manually keels වගේ ආයතනයක් manually ඒ details තිබ්බනම් they have thousands of shops. How can you access these details if they record everything manually? It will be very difficult. Okay. Okay. Then what are the disadvantages? Okay. Now let's say there is some power failure or computer virus or some technical faults. What happens? The entire system will be shut down. Then a problem. Okay. Then risk of unauthorized access, and the next thing is these computerized system it requires so much of money to make the purchase at the initial point. පළවෙනියටම මේ සිස්ටම් එක ගන්න සිස්ටම් එක ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරගන්න ලොකු ගාණක් වියදම් කරන්න ඕන. Okay, so we wrote the note on that. Okay, and we completed the lesson. Okay, so with that we conclude the lesson: purchase journal, sales journal, and general journal. Okay, so today, so we are in the business and accounting studies grade 10 syllabus, and today we are going to do a new lesson. Okay, today we are going to learn about the trial balance. What is trial balance, how it helps business, and what we do with the trial balance. So we are going to learn 4 lesson areas. Okay, introduction to the trial balance, and posting transactions from prime entry books to the ledger accounts, balancing of ledger accounts, and preparation of trial balance. Those are the things we are going to learn today. And so far we completed 10 lessons. Okay, starting from the background of business until purchases journal. So we completed almost like 7 accounting lessons from introduction to accounting. Okay, and today we are doing the trial balance. Now, now any business, when they are doing the business, what they use is they are using the accounts. When they are using accounts, they are using the double entry principle. What is double entry principle? Double entry principle is the principle where when you debit one side, you are crediting the other side from the same amount. Okay, so we are using the double entry principle for the purpose of accounting. Okay, now because of this, what happens is after balancing all the accounts, there will be debit and credit balances separately. For example, let's say now for example, let's say for example, purchase of computer machine for cash 10,000. Okay, what happens is when you purchase a computer machine, your asset balance is going up, so you are passing a debit entry. And when you're spending your cash balance, cash asset is going down. So because of that, you are passing a credit entry. So you have a debit entry and a credit entry. Okay, debit entry with the value of 10,000 and credit entry with a value of 10,000. Okay, so if these transactions are recorded and if they are balanced correctly, okay, at the end of the accounting period, when you look at your debit balances and credit balances of your individual account and when you sum them up, ඔයාගේ ඔයා ඔක්කොම accounts ටික හරියට හදලා ඉවර වෙලා අවුරුද්ද ඉවරුනාට පස්සේ account එකේ තියෙන ක්‍රෙඩිට් බැලන්ස් එකයි ඩෙබිට් බැලන්ස් එකයි අරගෙන චෙක් කරලා බලුවොත් එහෙම මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? අර ඩෙබිට් බැලන්ස් වල එකතුවයි ක්‍රෙඩිට් බැලන්ස් වල එකතුවයි සමාන වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට මොකක්ද හේතුව? අපි හැමතිස්සෙම ෆයිනෑන්ෂියල් ට්‍රාන්සැක්ෂන් එකක් කරද්දී අපි ඩෙබිට් එන්ට්‍රි එකකුත් පාස් කරනවා. ඒ ගානටම අපි ක්‍රෙඩිට් එන්ට්‍රි එකකුත් පාස් කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ වගේ transactions ගොඩාක් අවුරුද්දක් ඇතුලේ කරලි ඉවර වෙලා අපි එක එක accounts වල තියෙන debit balance එකයි credit balance එකයි compare කරලා බැලුවොත් අර debit balance එකයි credit balance එකයි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සමාන වෙන්න ඕනේ. Okay. The list which is prepared at the end of the period by including all the debit and credit balances of the ledger accounts is called the trial balance. එතකොට trial balance එක කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Trial balance එක කියන්නේ it's a list where you prepared at the end of the period, at the end of the accounting period, and you include all the debit and the credit balances of the ledger account. And when you do all that, you get the trial balance. Okay. So trial balance is not an account. Trial balance is not a ledger account. Okay. It's merely a list of balances. So it's a summary. So when you look at the trial balance, you know, okay, I have this much of assets in my account. I have this much of cash in my account. I have this much of liabilities in my account. Likewise, you know it's a snapshot of your business. So you know what has happened in the business. Okay. If the debit and credit entries have been recorded correctly in the ledger accounts and those accounts has been balanced correctly, the total of the debit columns of the trial balance should agree the total of the credit columns of the trial balance. අර මං කලින් කිව්වා වගේ අපි හරියටම මේ debit entries ටිකයි credit entries ටිකයි pass කරලා තියෙනවා නම් හරිද? ඒ වගේම මේ accounts ටික හරියටම balance කරලා තියෙනවා නම් එහෙනම් අර debit column එකේ balance එකයි අර credit column එකේ balance එකයි දෙකම සමාන වෙන්න ඕනි. Okay, you got it? Then if the trial balance agrees, following two facts can be confirmed. The values debited to the account are equal to the value credited to the account. Ledger accounts has been balanced correctly. Okay. So those are the two facts. Values debited to the account are equal to the values credited to the accounts and ledger accounts has been balanced correctly. Then trial balance එක මොකුත්ම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැතුව balance වෙනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ trial balance එකේ debit පැත්ත balance එක අපි හිතමු ලක්ෂයයි credit පැත්ත balance එක ලක්ෂයයි නම් අපිට එකෙන් කියන දේවල් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි අර debit balances වල එකතුව credit balances වල එකතුවට සමානයි කියලා. එතකොට initially අපිට පොඩි picture එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් පොඩි idea එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දේවල් දෙක හරියටම debits ටිකයි credits ටිකයි හරියට pass කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා. Okay. The next thing is ledger accounts has been balanced correctly. Ledger account එක correctly balance කරලා තියෙනවා. Okay. Jaita, we started the lesson. We did about 2 slides. Nothing much. Okay. When did you join the class? I mean,
Sir, in this introduction, in this
Okay.
trial balance.
okay. So that's it. So let's write the note and you can put the main heading, the lesson name as trial balance, and then you can put a subheading introduction to trial balance. So I will read out the note first and then you can write it down. Okay. Onera, Omera, what you can do is you can now take a new book and then put the lesson name as trial balance and then put the subheading as introduction to trial balance and we'll continue from this lesson. Okay. And then you can write down the note. How we do is we usually firstly do the lesson and then we give the note. Okay. So trial balance and introduction to the trial balance. I will read out the note. When preparing ledger accounts using the double entry system, every transaction is recorded on the debit side of the one account and the credit side of the another. As a result, once the ledger accounts are balanced, there will be both debit and credit balances. If all transactions have been recorded accurately and the ledger accounts are balanced properly, the total debit balance should equal the total credit balance. අපි හරියට accounts ටික record කරලා තියෙනවා නම් සහ ඒ දේවල් හරියටම balance කරලා තියෙනවා නම් total of the debit balance should be equal to total of the credit balance. The list that is created at the end of the accounting period showing all the debit and credit balances of the ledger accounts is called a trial balance. list that is created at the end of the accounting period, showing all the debit and credit balances of the ledger accounts, is called the trial balance. It is not an account itself, but rather a summary of the balances from the ledger. When the debit and credit entries have been recorded and balanced correctly, the total of the debit column in the trial balance should match the total of the credit column. If When the debit and the credit entries have been recorded and balanced correctly, the total of the debit column in the trial balance should match the total of the credit column, total of the debit column and total of the credit column. If both totals are equal, two things can be confirmed. That is, the amount debited to the accounts are equally to those of credit, and the ledger accounts have been correctly balanced, ensuring mathematical accuracy. Okay, so you can start write down the note. Take about 5 to 6 minutes and complete the note. Give me a few minutes, guys, and complete the note. Take about now when it's about 6:50, please complete the note. Okay, now it's 6:46. Have you guys completed the note? Students, have you completed the note? How is the situation? Jahit, Omera, Rikesh, have you completed the note? Or are you still writing it?
I have finished the
You have finished.
oh, okay.
Jahita finished?
Yes, sir. Last,
Oh,
last,
oh,
I'm writing the second.
oh. Omera, you finished writing it?
Yes, sir. Now finished.
Okay, now, one thing is today we have a bulky question. So I'm sort of like afraid whether we have the timing. Uh, we'll firstly do few questions as to how we record these two things in different accounts, and then let's see. Okay, once it is 6:55, I will move on to the next slide. And we have 6 minutes remaining in this session. So what I will do is I will by it is 6. So once this session is over, I will send you a new link. Okay. And Omera, you will have to save my number unless you will not receive the messages from the broadcast group. You have to save this number. Okay, let me move to next slide. Okay. Following are the balances of the accounts of Janakanta's business as at 30th June 2024, who commenced his business on 1st January 2024. Okay. So they have given the end balance of the individual accounts, and they're asking us to try to prepare the trial balance. Okay. Can you start writing this? And then we can start preparing the trial balance. Start writing this. Put this heading and quickly write these balances. In another 3 minutes time, this session will be like over. Then I will send you a new link. Okay. So we have less than a minute. This session will automatically end. I'll send you a new link. Okay. Let me start the recording. Okay. So we are going to do sort of like practice question from trial balance. Okay. Following are the balances of the accounts of Janakanta's business as at 30th June 2024, who commenced his business on 1st January 2024. Okay, so they have given the balances: cash 40,000, purchases 150,000, sales 3,65,000, and so on until capital asset 1st Jan 2024 2,50,000. And they're asking us to prepare the trial balance. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, I will initiate this and let's see how it goes. Okay, so firstly, they have given the cash balance. Okay, now tell me what is cash? Is it a asset? Now, among the accounting elements, among five accounting elements, what is it? Is it asset, liability, equity, income, expense? What is it?
Asset.
Asset, exactly, good. Now, if it is an asset, then which balance should it carry? Is it a debit balance or credit balance? Asset එකකට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් debit balance එකක්ද credit balance එකක්ද? Asset balance එකක් වැඩි වෙනවා නම් අපි මොකද කරේ? Debit කරේ. So if we have a asset balance, is it a debit or credit? Tell me guys.
Debit.
Debit. Okay. So we debit by 40,000. Then comes the purchases. Now, purchases, what is it among accounting elements? Is it an asset or liability or income or expense or equity? What is it? Purchases. It's considered as a expense. Okay. So if it is expense, if expense balances are carrying debit balances, okay, then it's debit 1,50,000. Then sales. Sales is what? What is accounting element? Guys, speak up. Then you can revise your knowledge. And if you forget this, like if you have forgotten something, then you can revise your knowledge. Okay. Tell me, sales. What is it? Sales is considered as a income. Okay. Then if it is a income, when the income is increasing, we are usually crediting is 3,65,000. Okay. Then debtors. Debtors is considered as what? Debtors can මොකක්ද? Debtors are a asset. Okay.
Debit.
Debit. Exactly. Right. Correct. So I have to debit it. Then creditors. Creditors කියන මොකක්ද?
Credit.
Credit. Creditors කියන liability එක. So it should ideally carry a credit balance. So this is as per the double entry principle. Okay. Insurance charges. What could it be? Insurance charges.
Credit.
කියන මොකක්ද? Sorry?
Credit.
Okay. Now, what is the category of it? What is the accounting element? Insurance charges.
Expenses.
Expenses. So if it is an expense, should it carry
That's
a
debit.
debit balance or credit balance? Debit balance. Okay.
Debit.
Now, if we get a question like this, how to sort of like nail it? How to nail it is like you have to see what is it. Now, cash is an asset. Now, if I have asset balance in my account, that is a debit balance. Purchases is an expense, so it should carry a debit balance. Sales is an income, So it should carry a credit balance. Debtors is an asset. Then it should carry a debit balance. Creditors is a liability. So if liabilities are increasing, we are crediting the account. So it should have a credit balance. Then insurance charges. Insurance charges is expense. If expense is going up, then it's a debit balance. Then comes the furniture. Furniture. Furniture is an asset. So it's debit by 20,000. Okay. So if you all have any questions, please do ask. Okay. Rikesh, Manohar Prashna Tirunadhana, Jai, Omera. If you have any question, please do ask. We have a very limited number of students here. So you can always ask. Discount received. What is it? Tell me. Please tell me, give it a try. Rikesh and Omera, give it a try. What is it? Discount received. What is the accounting element?
Credit, sir.
It's correct. Credit. And what is it? What is the accounting element? Income or what is it? Hmm? Income, exactly. So it is a income. So as income balance is going up, or when you have an income account, you recognize it as a credit. And what about discounts allowed? What is the accounting element respect to that? What is it? Is it is it a income? Is it a expense? Is it a asset? Is it a liability? Or is it a equity? What is it? Discounts allowed? Sanjay?
Asset.
Discounts allowed. Now we discuss about discounts received and we discuss it is a income. Okay. This is just the opposite. Discounts allowed. මගෙන් කවුරු හරි බඩු ගන්න මගෙන් බඩු අරගෙන තියෙනවා මට කෑෂ් හම්බෙද්දි මං එයාට කියනවා මං ඔයාලට ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් දෙනවා කියලා. So what is it? It is a expense to me. Okay. Motor vehicle is an asset. So it's a debit balance. Then rent payments. What is it? Rent payment. It's an expense. Okay. Rent payment. Then stationery expenses. That is also an expense. So it's debit. Then 12% investment is a asset. Investment income is an income. Then 15% bank loan is a liability. If it is a liability, then it's credit. And then comes the capital. Capital කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Business එකක. What is capital? It's the equity. And ideally it should carry a credit balance. Okay. Okay. Now let's add them and see. මේ වෙන හින්දා මට sum function එක දාන්න පේන්නේ නැහැ. Because of that, I'll add one by one. Why is it false? So 1,40,000. So 1,40,000. So it all balanced correctly. Okay. So this is the answer. So it balanced. So if it is balanced, what can we identify? We can identify amounts debited to the accounts are equal to those credited, and ledger accounts are correctly balanced, ensuring mathematical accuracy. Okay. Okay. Then can you finish this in your exercises? Make your කරන්න පුළුවන්. Write this and complete this. If you have any questions, please do ask me. ඔයාලට මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් මගෙන් අහන්න. Have you finished this, students? Okay, we are going to the activity 1. Okay. Prepare the trial balance using following balances as at 30th September 2024. For Rosal's business. So these are the item: debtors 80,000, fixed deposit 1,58,000, creditors 60,000, discounts allowed 4,000, and so on until sales 3,80,000. Okay, let's start with debtors. Debtors 80,000. What is debtors? What is it? Is it a should it be debited or credited account?
Debited.
Debited. Okay. And the reason for debiting it?
Asset.
Asset. Debtors is asset. Exactly. Very correct. Okay. Then let's go to the next one. Fixed deposit. Should it be debited or credited?
Debited.
Debited. Very correct. The reason behind that
Because it's an asset.
asset. Okay. Great. Then creditors 60,000. Should it be debited or credited? Creditors 60,000. Should it be debited or credited?
Credit.
Credit. Why is that reason?
It's a liability.
It's a liability. Okay. Then discount allowed. Discounts allowed. Should it be debited or credited?
Debit.
Debit. Reason?
It's expense.
It's expense. It's expense. Correct. Then purchases. Should it be debited or credited?
Debited?
Purchases debited. Others. It should be debited. It's expense. Okay, that's correct. Purchases. Then machinery. Should it be debited or credited?
Debited.
Debited. 20,000. Because it's asset. Then discounts received.
Credited.
Discounts received is credited. Discounts allowed is expense. I give a discount. And discounts received is I'm receiving a discount. I'm receiving income. Okay. So we have to credit it. Okay. Then bank overdraft. What is bank overdraft? It's a bank overdraft is a liability. So it should be, it carries a credit balance. Salaries. Should it be debited
Expense.
or expense? Okay. So it's debit. Capital. It's
Asset.
it's credit. Okay. Then interest income. It should be credited.
Credit.
Cash.
Debit?
Debit. Exactly. Then sales. Sales is an income, so it should be credited. Okay. Have you done the similar way?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for bank overdraft, which is it, debit or credit?
Bank overdraft is credit. Now the term here is bank overdraft, not bank balance. If it is bank balance, then it's debited because it is carrying a positive balance. But here they have mentioned it as bank overdraft. Usually overdraft is a liability. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ account එකේ තියෙන සල්ලි වලට අමතරව we have utilized it. Bank has issued checks more than the account balance. So it creates the overdraft balance. That's a due. I have to pay it, and that's my liability. So it's a credit balance. Okay, but if it was something like, let's say it was termed as bank balance as at 1st January 2024, then it's debit. Okay, now that is the point where it is important to follow up the meaning behind terms rather than the term standalone. Then sometimes exam could be tricky. They can name it as bank balance, bank overdraft, and once they name it, you need to know what is the accounting element and what is really behind this. Okay. Okay, let's add this up and see. $6,72,000. $6,72,000. So this is balanced. Okay. This is balanced. දැන් අපි හදිසියවත් හිතන්නකෝ මේක බැංක් ඕවර්ඩ්‍රාෆ්ට් කියන එක අපිට වැරදිලා වෙලා මේක 15000 වුණා කියලා. right අපි මේ 15000 අපිට මිස් වුණා කියලා හිතන්න අපි අනිත් පැත්තට දැම්ම කියලා. right like this. අපිට මේක මෙහෙම වුණා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Then the balances will be incorrect. It will be like 6,80,000 on debit side and credit side it's 6,57,000. Okay, so it's so by that we know incorrect. It is incorrect. An easy way to find it is, now when we got this messed up, okay, the easy way to find is look at the difference. Now if you got multiple items, then that's a problem. Okay, that's a separate problem. But let's say you got only a single item wrong. You look at the difference. It's 30,000 and divide it by 2. Okay, it's 15,000 and trace which element is carrying 15,000 value. Okay, so then here it's 15,000. Okay, then there should have been something wrong. So I'm pushing it to here. So it's correct. Okay, likewise. So that's an easy way of doing this. Now, this is a very easy thing. Only thing is you need to know what is behind the particular terminology. For example, when it is named fixed deposit, we need to know it's asset. When it is machinery, we need to know it is asset. And if it is an asset, that asset account should usually carry a debit balance. Likewise, that is what we need to know. So with that, we can wrap up that question. Okay.